welcome to another episode of Shedlock Customs TV, and in this episode we're going to be looking at the KTT special. I think this is episode 10. I'm going to give you a nice walk round video of the whole bike, show you some of the bits that you've seen in previous videos but in a sort of greater detail and probably in a better view. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you at the end. Okay, well, what can I say? I didn't think this day was going to come quite as soon as this, but here we have the KTT special in all its glory. So you probably haven't seen this or could work out what was going on with this because it was stuck in a place where I couldn't get far enough away from it. So I finally got it down into the garage, and it's sitting here in all its glory. So the engine is only just roughly assembled. The crankcases haven't got a crank in it. There's no piston or con rod. It's just the barrel sat on top of the head. But yeah, very pleased. So let's start with the front brake. So we've got the new brake arm, the new stop for the girder forks, and the cable which comes up into this original adjuster, so that works out quite well. So a new thing that I've been manufacturing, which I haven't shown you yet, is a steering stop. So I've made like a bracket that goes round and uses these two bolt holes either side. I don't know what they were originally for, probably someone will be able to tell me, but basically when you move the bike round, it stops on the bottom yoke. You can see that. So yes, it's probably going to chip the paint off, and yes, it's going to be bashing into the aluminium, but the aluminium is nice and soft, and I was way more worried about the handlebars clouting the tank, whereas now I've got plenty of clearance between the tank and all the handle controls. You've got the breather, which I've seen something like that on another bike, so I've made something that looks similar. I know it's maybe not to everyone's taste, but it is to mine. So, and then the frame, so it's not quite finished yet. There's the special nuts that I've made. I've got the tube, which I've got to weld into position yet, so that's just pressed into position. I don't know how much you guys have worked out what's been going on with the paddock stand bobbins, but I've used the bolt that holds the frame on to also use to hold the paddock stand bobbin on, which I'm really pleased with. That's worked out really well. We've got the Dunlop seat, which is looking quite nice. I've jury-rigged this up at the moment, and not sure, obviously the springs bent at a little bit of an angle, but that's due to the mounting frame at the moment. So what I've seen is people have made like a bracket that runs along here, and then it's got a tip at the end, and then this bolt is bolted in at the bottom, at the back, at a different angle, which allows the spring to be more vertical. So that might be something I'll consider. But actually sitting on the bike, although I've not got any foot pegs at the moment, it feels okay, feels nice and compliant. You've not really, I don't know how much I've shown you about the gearbox, but I managed to get the external positive stop gear change on. This is going to need to be modified, so if I bring you around the other side, so on the other side we've got the foot peg mount, so the bolt stuck out is just a mounting bracket, and the foot peg is going to sit in this section here, which if you turn the gear change around the other way, I'll also end up with a shift pattern, which is what I was looking for, which was 1 up and 3 down, which is my preference with all the bikes, or certainly the Speed Twin. Prefer that shift pattern. So having the foot pegs in a more rear set position, if I come back out a bit, you will see the foot peg is roughly going to sit underneath where the spring is, which is exactly the same as the Speed Twin, and that's a lovely comfortable riding position. Not sure about having the head of the bolt. I could have tapped those new nuts either side and screwed them across from side to side. It would mean I'd have to remake those, so I'm thinking about that at the moment. This side is going to be the side you're going to see, so what I might do is turn them round so you only see the threaded section, because on the other side is going to be the exhaust, and that's probably going to cover up being able to see that in plain sight. So yeah, very pleased. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a flavour for what's been going on, and all this stuff that you've been watching me make videos on, which might or might not have been very obvious. And apologies if it's not always been the best of angles and you can't really see what's going on, but that's the joys of working in a confined space. Now it's relegated or promoted to the garage, whichever way you want to look at it. We should get some better footage of it. So what have I got left to do? What's next? What are you going to be seeing next? Well, I'm not sure what else is in this video. We'll find out, but ultimately the welding on the tube to finish off the frame, and welding on the stay for the foot peg mount. I've got to make the other foot peg mount the other side, so I haven't got enough aluminium for that at the moment. So that's coming in the post hopefully soon. The frame's going to come off. I'll only tack it on the bike and I'll finish weld it. The way I've done it, I've had to accept the fact that the back wheel's got to come out to be able to release the bolt, so I don't want to spring the frame at the back. I think that's going to be too hard when I've got the tube welded in, so the rear wheel has to come out to take the frame off, but that's no big shouts, considering it's not going to come off very often. Like, it's going to come off now to be painted, and then that's probably it. It will go back on again. What else have I got to do? Obviously got to sort out the clutch. Gearbox, I need to finish off playing with the adjuster. One of the things I also wanted to mention was no part of the Velocette original manufacturer's equipment is going to be modified as part of this build. The things I'm going to change are going to be things that could be changed back again. I won't be cutting up any original equipment like the mudguard, which I don't like, and I'm choosing to use an aluminium one, but that's a style thing and also a weight thing, because the original steel one, well, it's got some nice pressings in it, and I could make it fit to something that I actually like the look of. That would mean cutting up an original part, and that's not something I'm about or want to do. So I don't suppose many people here are, well, they might be KTT purists, and I'm great with that. I love original bikes as well, but I've got to be honest, my thing is bikes that look like they come off the racetrack, and that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So we'll see how we get on.